What's up guys, and welcome back to another G35 video. It's definitely been a while since I've uploaded anything on the channel. I think it's been like 3 weeks, which is pretty bad. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about what's next on the G35. Just kind of get you guys up to speed since I have been missing uploads. Basically a whole rundown of what I'm going to be doing to the G35. And alongside that, I'll be answering some of your questions that you gave me on Instagram. Before we really dive in, I wanted to share with you guys that the G35 finally let me stranded. It was last Sunday and I tried turning on the G35 and it kind of started, but it took a while for it to start. So I thought it was the battery originally, so I was like, you know, it's normal, it's wearing down, maybe I'll go ahead and buy a battery later. So I turned off the car and turned it back on to see if it does it again, and then it just stopped and didn't turn on anymore, and I ended up having to push start the car. So that was really fun. For the people that don't know what push starting is, it's not where you press the button to turn on the car. You essentially end up pushing the car in neutral and then you put it into second gear and you basically pop the clutch out and it turns on the car and you can go. And another thing with that, I ended up getting an OEM starter even though it was used. I don't want to risk it buying Duralast. I've heard a lot of bad stuff about Duralast and it's just basically a hit or miss if you get a good one or not. The reason I'm telling you guys all this is if you guys want to know how to push start your car, I'll show you guys kind of like in a step-by-step tutorial, because I wasn't really familiar with it and I was doing it in first gear, which is a little more aggressive. If you guys are interested in that video, I can go ahead and do that, basically teaching you guys how to push start your car. It's not difficult at all, but just if you guys want that, I can do that for you guys. So now that we got that out of the way, what's next with the G35? What's the closest thing that I'll be doing right away that I can basically talk about? I've been talking about this for quite a while already. The upper plenum, I'm going to be replacing it and basically shaving off and porting it out. So that part right there, the neck area, it's just a very tight bend and it's also very small. So porting that out helps out a lot. So this is a 3.5-inch piping right here, and then it goes down to the OEM MAF housing, and then I just have the pop charger filter. So I'm still tinkering around with this. I'm basically going to make something custom for myself. I've been talking about that forever, but that's something that is coming very soon. So along with those two mods, I'm going to be essentially wanting to die with this next mod I'm going to be doing. I'll let you guys know how bad this mod is, and it's the headers on the G35. I bought headers. I have them. I'm going to be installing them on the G35. I just need time. But I'm going to try and make a tutorial, basically show you guys in a very simple way how to do it without removing everything, obviously, because you can obviously do that. So that's going to be a fun one and an interesting one for myself to film and basically do, because I'm going to have to, you know, figure everything out as I go as well. But these are the mods that I'm going to be chasing basically right away. They're the most important ones to me right now. And after I get all that sorted out, we're going to be getting a tune on the G35. I haven't tuned the car still. So obviously with all the mods that I have on the G35, you would think I'd have the car tuned by now, but I don't. So that's something that's in the books. I've been really contemplating on who I want to go with. More likely than not, I might be going a Specialty Z. I just don't want to have to deal with, you know, waiting forever to get a tune. They're a good shop. They're out in like Simi Valley, which isn't too far from me. I'm not real crazy on power. I'm not trying to be the fastest NA G35. I just want to have it more fun, have a little bit more power, and correct the air to fuel ratio, make it run right. I don't really have a number in mind of what I think I would be making, but if I had to take a guess, I'd probably say around 270-ish with the headers, since this car is a non-rev up, so it doesn't make as much power as a rev up motor. But having a tune on the G35 is a must, and I've been slacking so hard on that, but I will be getting a tune, guys, I promise. So the way we're gonna do it, I'm gonna be talking about the build and what's next, and then I'm gonna switch over to getting a question from you guys. So we'll go back and forth just so it's not just on one thing, and you guys can get your questions answered as well. So one of you guys asked if it's worth going full bolt-on on a DE motor. To keep it simple, I would say no. I really don't think it's worth it to go full bolt-on if you're trying to max out on power. It's just not worth it. You're spending too much money that you can allocate if you wanted to go into a turbo or go into a supercharger. I think that's a better method. But on the other side, if you're not looking to get crazy power, if you're looking to just make it a little more fun like myself, I do think it's worth it. I think it's cool to be able to have your car, you know, NA and have a little bit more performance. I guess it'd also be cool if you found another G35 and you guys raced and your car was tuned a full bolt-on. It'd be cool that your car's faster, but I don't recommend it, because even if you race like a 370Z or a G37 stock, if you win, you're gonna win by a nose hair, and you're most likely gonna lose because if they just have intakes, they're gonna be faster. So another thing that I was looking to do on the G35 after I get the tune and after I get everything sorted out is going into cosmetics, since I really haven't focused on cosmetics with this car at all. So obviously I have Spec D lights, I have the grille painted black, spacers, carbon fiber mirror caps, I have the roof wrapped, but other than that, I really don't have anything else done to the G35, and honestly the paint isn't in the best condition. I know on camera it looks a lot better, but it isn't in the best condition, and I want to wrap it so bad because it bothers me. But one thing I am going to be doing is focusing on cosmetics once I get the car tuned, and that's going to be a really big deal because that'll be obviously me changing the whole look of the car. I want the Coupe Z bumper. I like that it has the opening in the middle as well in the bumper, so it's going to help out with that intercooler once I go ahead and turbo the car, which I'll talk about later. Probably get some side skirts. That's a maybe. I don't really care too much about the side skirts, but definitely getting a rear bumper, and obviously like most people they get the charge speed bumper, and that's exactly what I would get. If I'm feeling baller enough, I'll probably get the VIS hood, the one with that little slight lip on it. But other than that, just getting a bumper in the front and the rear, and then getting the car wrapped in a white color, which is what I think I'm going to be doing. I still want to look at all the other colors, but I'm thinking about doing white, which is kind of something that I've really liked on these G35s. Personally, I like the simplicity of the G35, so I'm not going to be doing any crazy stuff, no wide body, nothing like that. I think the G35 looks very elegant and luxurious, and because of that, I want to keep it that way and not go too crazy on modifications on the outside. It's my daily driver. I'm not going to put a ton of money on the cosmetics to just get dinged at a parking lot. Something I really need to do though is fix the clear coat on the carbon fiber mirror caps. As you can see, it's kind of starting to oxidize a little bit, so maybe just hitting it with a polish or something to clean it up and make it look a lot better. Talking about carbon fiber, today's video is sponsored by Simply Carbon Fiber. They ended up sending out a full carbon fiber wallet, which is really light and it's really small in comparison to my regular wallet, which is massive. So this wallet is like half the size of my old wallet, so it's something that is very comfortable to have in pocket. It's really convenient, and honestly, for being a car guy, this is one of those must-haves as a present for yourself or for others. The really cool part about the wallet is that it's actually carbon fiber. It is made completely out of carbon fiber. It's no wrap or anything. It's not hydro dipped. It is actual carbon fiber, which is really cool. So go ahead and check out the website in the description, or you can use discount code JV10 for 10% off your order. Again, massive thank you to Simply Carbon Fiber for sponsoring this video. It helps out a ton for small content creators like myself. Having people that are willing to work with you is such a big thing, so definitely support them and go ahead and get yourself a carbon fiber wallet. So we talked about me getting a tune. We talked about me doing cosmetics after that. What's next after cosmetics? That is going to be turbo. So if you didn't know that, we are going to be turboing this G35. It's going to be sick, and I'm going to make it a very, very reliable car. That's my biggest thing, making this G35 as reliable as possible, being on a turbo setup, to where if I wanted to daily drive this, I definitely could. So that's what I'm going to be looking into, and I'm going to make sure everything I'm doing is towards that. So the type of turbo setup I'm going to be running on the G35 is not going to be anywhere near the engine. It's actually going to be all the way in the back of the car. I am going to be doing a rear mount setup on the G35, and it's just because it's very easy to do, it's cheap, and you can also keep a lot of heat away from the engine, which is a really good thing to have just with any turbo setup. Keeping the heat down is something that you're always struggling with, and that's going to be very nice to have everything away so you're not creating more heat in the engine. I know a lot of people have a lot to say for the rear mount turbo setup. Trust me, I've seen it all over. All I'm really trying to do with the turbo is just make it a little more fun, put a little more power, and essentially just make a bunch of content for you guys, which is kind of the main thing with all this that I'm doing to the G35. I just wouldn't feel motivated enough to do all the stuff that I've done to the G35 if it wasn't for you guys and making content for you guys to enjoy and learn. So the goals I have for the G35 power wise is roughly 400 horsepower on pump gas, and then doing probably 450 to closer to 500 on E85. I really hope you guys are enjoying this video. I'm really giving a lot of stuff out that I typically wouldn't be giving out at all, just because I hate being that guy that says big things coming and everything. So I usually try to stay very low on everything that I'm doing. All right, so now for the question time. This question is actually a very, very interesting question, and I'm sure you guys are gonna have your own take on this, but here we go. So the question is, G35 versus G37, which is better for the money? Whew, that's a tough one. There's so many different factors and you can go so many different ways, but basically G37 makes more power NA. G37 can make more power boosted with the stock internals. So right then and there, if those are the things you care about, then right there, that's your answer, G37 all day long. But if you're looking to save money, and if you're looking to buy the G35 because you like the way it looks better, those are things that you can't really get with the G37. And if you're looking for like 80% of the performance and everything, 80% of what a G37 is, a G35 is essentially the answer there. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking for power, G37. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative to the G37, the G35 is going to be your one. One of the things I'm sure you guys could be thinking is if I'm going to ever build the engine, and the quick answer is no. The long answer is no. I'm not even thinking about building the engine. If I do end up blowing this one, I just replace it with another one, like a JDM one with 50k miles. So what I would do in that case, I would basically just change the head gasket, maybe do the galley gaskets while I'm at it, and change a couple other things like the oil pump. But honestly, I don't see myself ever building the VQ. It's too expensive and it's not worth it for me. I think if I'm looking for more power above 450, 500, then I would go with a G37 because they can handle that all day long and I wouldn't have to worry about that. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna quick fire these questions that I have written down just so I can go ahead and get them answered for you. What's a realistic amount of money you'd take for your G if you had to sell it right now? I honestly don't have a price for the G35. I'm not gonna sell it, so it's really hard for me to answer that question. But if someone came up to me, they magically had 15k in their hand and were, here you go, you got $15,000 for that G35 of yours, I would not take it. I couldn't sell the car for $15,000. There's no way. If someone had me $20,000, they're like, here you go, $20,000. This is all yours. G35 is off your hands. Probably, maybe selling the G35, but there's no way I'd sell it for 15, and it's a very hard maybe on 20k. That doesn't mean the G35 is worth 20,000. It just means I'm not gonna sell it, and if someone offered me that money, then I would probably take it. I'm not looking to sell a G35. That's not the price I have in mind when I sell the G35. The realistic amount of money is very high because I just wouldn't sell it at all, if that makes sense. How has being famous changed your life? I actually get recognized less. When do you plan to boost? Again, I answered that question. I'm not planning on boosting till maybe 1 or 2 years. This is gonna take a while. I want to make sure everything's right, so I'm nowhere near rushed on trying to finish this car at all. I really like it as a daily driver. Drive it everywhere. Don't have a problem with it. I do scrape a bit, but you know, I'm not even that low. I don't know. But like I said, I want to give you guys content, and that's what I got to do to keep you guys posted and keep you guys tuned in. If I finish the car, there's nothing left I'd be able to do with the G35. If it was wrapped, if it was turboed, if it had, you know, everything done to it, what on earth would I do with this chassis after it's done? There's nothing I could do. So I'm really trying to play the long game on this one, so bear with me. That is kind of my game plan on this, and I'm really letting you guys in on this because I typically wouldn't. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys got to see a little rundown of how I think and what's going on in my mind when I'm trying to figure out this build. So go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment down below what you think about all this build. I know it's a lot, but with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.